If there's one thing that we can all agree on, it's that D.va is as iconic as Overwatch itself. Her popularity is undeniable, evident from the first few seconds of her cinematic. And this isn't simply just lore. Overbuff data reveals that she is the second most picked tank across all ranks. However, D.va also boasts one of the lowest win rates. This begs the question, why does such a challenging hero remain incredibly popular despite the difficulty in achieving victory with her? I decided to play her for 20 hours to find out. Transitioning into the tank role was not going to be an easy task for me, having spent most of my Overwatch 2 hours as a DPS player. On top of all this, I would be doing it live on stream, solo queue uncensored in front of my whole community so they could learn from my failures and celebrate my successes.
No! Okay, I guess I have to regroup with teammate anyway.
Starting in Gold 1, I faced challenges from the beginning. With levers in my 3 initial matches, it was a rough start. I felt like I was thrown into the so-called elo hell and the stress of playing tank began to take its toll. As a tank, I was now the center of attention for enemy cooldowns, something I really wasn't accustomed to as a DPS player. The guides gave me a good theoretical understanding, but as Oppenheimer said, theory will take you only so far. I dropped my ego and reached out to Halfacool, a World Cup player from Team Iceland and a coach in the Discord. I asked him for 3 things I should focus on early on to not overwhelm myself. Here's the exact response they gave me, but I'll give you the TLDR. First, look at your team and the enemy team. Ask which backline is more vulnerable. If it's yours, then play defensive. If it's theirs, then look to be more aggressive. Next, learn to hold valuable positions such as high ground and corners. And finally, know what abilities to eat and search for them. This last one really stuck out to me as enemies were already throwing all their abilities at me. What seemed like an annoyance was actually a blessing this entire time, and I just had to learn how to harness it.
Oh, I ate the sleep, let's go!
As the day progressed, I started turning these lessons into habits. Not only was I learning to eat abilities that were thrown at me, but also how to dodge the ones I couldn't eat, such as Sigma's Rock. This also made me realize patterns in how certain heroes reacted to my actions. Ana's sleep darts, for example, became a predictable response to me diving her. Starting to realize these patterns was my first breakthrough. No longer did I have to quickly react to an ability usage, but instead I can make them use them when I was ready. In one of my final matches of the day, I faced a tank's worst nightmare, Sombra. My team was really struggling and I couldn't really understand why. I then thought back to one of my previous tip videos. I started implementing spy checks and the difference was day and night. It was like a completely different match. We ended up turning an unwinnable game into a win. My journey had only just begun, but I was extremely confident in the progress I had made so far. The first day's success rolled seamlessly into day 2 and I was ready to take on any challenge that came my way. But little did I know a new test awaited me in the form of Counterwatch. As my skills improved, I noticed a trend. The more I excelled, the more my enemies tried to counter me. Quickly, my matches developed into a game of how long until the enemy tank picked Zarya. But surprisingly, she wasn't my biggest hurdle. It was the Icy Menace Mei and her beam counterpart Symmetra that really put me to the test. But even with the piling Zarya counterpicks, I managed to hold my own. In fact, my first card of the day finished 5-2 and I could see the habits I had learned from Halfacool paying off. However, a new challenge loomed on the horizon, my first encounter with a formidable Doomfist on Numbani. This was the first time I ever faced a good Doomfist, and facing him was a completely different experience from any other tank. He proved to be a relentless opponent and I realized I needed to change my strategies for future encounters. But I wasn't discouraged. We noticed his DPS was constantly out of position, which would end up being their downfall. Soon after the epic duel with Doomfist, I found myself on Junkertown, a map that used to make me nervous as a Tracer main. But this fear quickly dissipated as my team systematically dismantled the enemy team. I even achieved a personal best 56 elims in a single match on D.va, and my movements felt on point. And that was just the start of my winning streak. As my game sense developed, I found myself stepping up for my team when they needed me the most. The second card of the day yielded another impressive 5-2, solidifying my belief that I was meant to be a tank main all along. With a beautiful 69% win rate at the end of the day, I felt unstoppable. I felt like I had gotten pretty solid at the 3 fundamentals that Halfacool had given me, and I was ready for more. Today was coaching day and man was I excited. The first days were already fantastic and now I had the incredible opportunity to be guided by someone I looked up to, a pro whom I watched compete in the World Cup. But hey, enough chit chat, I'll let him give you a little bit of his background.
My name is Halfacool. I'm currently coaching Team Paps on EU Contenders team. I was previously playing TF2 professionally, I was a world champion in TF2. Then I went into Overwatch as a DPS, played for teams like Fnatic, British Hurricane. When RauKnows came, I kind of went tank, the off tank. The one EU Contenders.
Alright, so things didn't go quite as smoothly as the first 2 days. Even with a coach in my ear, my helplessness started to creep back Even my coach was at a loss for words, as he felt like I was doing my job very well, but my teams just weren't showing up. You know, my coach was used to playing with top tier players who could be relied upon, and well, platinum players weren't quite that. The frustration was real, but I had this light bulb moment. What if I tried combining his teachings with my aggressive playstyle? I mean, aggression, that's what worked for me in those first 2 days. And guess what? That was the key to unlocking my potential. See, platinum players can't quite execute on D.va's enabling like top 500 players. So I started implementing my coach's advice while embracing my aggressive side, and oh boy did it pay off. Towards the end of our coaching session, I had the match of my career on Havana, and let me tell you, Havana's not my favorite map. But no matter, I led my team to an insane victory, finishing 45-0, my single best deathless match of any hero. Yeah, I know, I was speechless too. If you want me to post a full match, make sure you comment down below. Not only did I feel that I played well, it had some good feedback from my coach. But guess what? The success didn't end there. Just a few games later on Circuit Royale, I dropped a 39-1 match and another win. Now, even though the overall card was 5-6, we managed to bounce back from those early losses and turn things around. I started to find the perfect mix of aggression in my coach's teaching. So at the end of the day, I ended 12-13. Yeah, it's not the best win percentage, but hey, it's about the knowledge gained, right? Learning is never a straight path. It has its ups and downs. And that's what I'm here for, to improve and become the best Overwatch player I can be. So remember, every setback is a chance to learn and grow. And now I'm pumped for day 4, my first fresh day after coaching. Let's see what new heights I can reach. Reaching new heights is always an exciting prospect, and I started day 4 on a positive note. I felt good starting 2-0 in my matches, and even though I had some rough teammates in terms of DPS performance, we managed to overcome those challenges through effective communication. As a tank player, I realized that being the commander and guiding my team was crucial to secure victories at this rank. The day seemed to be going well until teams stopped listening and levers started appearing.
Just stop peeking, so I'm gonna strangle you.
Nevertheless, I finished my first card on the day, 5-2, peaking on my new high as a tank in D.va.
85%, not bad. I'll take it.
As I continued to climb and aim for new personal high ranks with D.va, fate had other plans for me. It's important to be transparent. I soon found myself on a personal worst 12-game losing streak.
Here we are.
Even my community was at a loss for words, and doubts started to creep into my mind. I always believed that wins and losses shouldn't matter if you're trying to improve, but this streak tested my confidence. Despite the discouraging losing streak, I knew that I had to stay positive and focus on self-improvement. It became apparent why tank one-tricks are less common compared to other roles. The better I performed, the more the enemies stacked up with counter picks like Zarya, Mei, Symmetra, Reaper, and Brig. Dealing with one counter was manageable, but facing multiple counters left me heavily relying on my team for support, and we all know how that goes. There's always a lesson to be learned, and for me, it was that one-tricking can be beneficial for learning up to a point. While facing adversity is essential for growth, Overwatch's mid-match swaps exist for a reason. The ability to swap and switch heroes to counter the enemy's team composition is one of the game's defining features. Don't be afraid to play into the enemy's counters sometimes, as it can be a great learning experience, but when your team isn't up for the challenge, know when to swap and carry them to victory. Next week, I'll be challenging myself to Doomfist one trick for 20 hours. However, I've learned a lesson from today and plan to incorporate a more flexible approach. On days 3 through 5, I'll give myself one tank that I can swap to if the enemy has 2 or more Doomfist counters. However, on days 1 and 2, I'll still stick to one tricking to fill the struggle and learn which counters I can handle without swapping. Let me know what you guys think of this idea. Looking back at the start of this challenge, I was just a baby tank, and day by day, I felt myself improving. The final day started off with some tough losses, but then a saving grace arrived in the form of a lively 4-stack on Numbani.
Oh, I'm scared!
Nah, I got him. Hi, soldier. It was refreshing to have a positive and cooperative team. We crushed our enemies, and they even invited me to join them.
You want to just join us, just to see if, it's like meant to be?
As much as my community wanted it, I decided to stay true to my roots and remain a lone wolf. In the next match, fate smiled upon me and I got matched with the same amazing 4-stack. It was a great feeling to connect with them once more, even though I had to finish my journey solo.
No shot.
You should have f***ing joined us.
It was, dude, you said it was meant to be, so it's meant to be, I guess.
Energized by their positivity, I was ready to face an upcoming challenge similar to the historic Doomfist battle on day 2. This time it came in the form of a fellow D.va player, and I knew that there could only be one. The battle was fierce from the get-go. We clashed amidst the pillars of the Ilios ruins. It felt like a thrilling mech battle straight out of Titanfall 2. However, soon my opponent, a skilled D.va player whom I respected greatly, turned to the dark side, the Zarya side. but we persevered and secured a triumphant round 3 victory over the counter swapper. And hey, in the end, I may have trolled him a little bit, but we all knew who came out on top. With only 2 hours remaining, my buddy Remy, a top 100 tank, offered to join me in Discord. His advice was golden, and something I had always shied away from: ultimate tracking. Planning for fights in advance, not just with my ults, but coordinating with my teammates, saved us from those dreaded ult spam situations. It seemed overwhelming at first, but with his help, the game felt 10 times easier.
Alright, visor this, Zarya. Got it, I ate it. Go, 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 go. Nice. Chat, that's my first grab I've ever eaten.
So why is D.va such a popular pick? Well, for players like myself who have ADHD, her high actions per minute gameplay is incredibly satisfying. She's not your typical tank that just soaks up damage. She requires a lot of game sense and coordination. However, this unique playstyle can lead to challenges, reflected in her win-loss ratio and my own struggles on day 4. Her counters, like Mei and Symmetra, are way easier to play and can make life difficult for even a skilled D.va player. D.va feels like a very misunderstood hero. In her cinematic, she's portrayed as a fearless leader who takes on challenges solo, while in reality, her in-game role is quite the opposite. Rarely will you do anything solo, only hard aggressing when your opponents overextend. As you climb higher in the ranks, such opportunities happen less often, and you'll find yourself playing a much more patient and supportive role. Covering for your team and eating enemy cooldowns become your primary objective. After investing 20 hours in D.va, I can confidently say what she does extremely well. Achieving value with D.va requires dedication and effort. Whether it's gobbling up an enemy ultimate, crushing someone with a well-timed remech, or devouring a pesky Mora orb, the satisfaction is unmatched. While I'll certainly be choosing D.va as my go-to tank in most games, I've learned the hard way to not one-trick her. Her counters can be brutal, making it easy for opponents to counterpick you, but take pride in being the threat that they had to play around. Just make sure to squash the Mei with a remech before considering a swap.
Let me at her, let me at her. We got her! Yes! I don't care, it was worth it!
Now that we've explored D.va's strengths and challenges, it's time for a new adventure. I'll be tackling 20 hours on Doomfist. If you want to witness my struggles and successes, join me live on Twitch every Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. CST. It's bound to be a roller coaster of emotions, especially when facing off against Sombra. Perhaps some karma for me being a Sombra player myself.